Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone who rule well. And Shalom to all the brothers doing the work of Sarah in truth. Out here once again on the streets of London, man, teaching the scriptures. Because why, the time we're in, it's observable for anyone with the eyes to see that we're in the time of the end, man. This place is on its way out. And all we see, happening left and right around the globe is prophecies flying off left, right, and center. And that's, as far as the general populace, what they're thinking about is, especially in the UK, you said Boris announced that the lockdown's gonna end, eventually, in like 4 months or some shit. Which is kind of hilarious because it's just like that's not even really good news. That means that like for, for the next few months it's still gonna be the same shit. But what it's people's spirits are up. And they even said like stocks fucking shot up off that as well. Certain stocks. So it's people are not really observing the times, and I'm not able to, man. They've been blinded and deafened to what's going down. Because when you deal with the prophecies, it's like the prophecy ain't stopped. Just because the lockdown might be ending, that doesn't mean that. And this isn't even confirmed. This is something that's in the process of being worked towards. Just because of that doesn't mean that prophecies have stopped. Because why? You can see left, right, and center. All we've had, you had last night. What's his name? Joe Biden. This guy did strikes on Syria, basically Iranian positions in Syria. So that's building up once again that conflict in the Middle East, which never really went to sleep. That thing's kind of been on the back burner. You had like basically Iran like doing their nuclear program, and that's kind of been since going back like a year, 2 years from when Trump was still in office. That I was trying to wait for you. That that nuclear program's been an issue, a point of contention. And as far as like Netanyahu in Israel, he's looking for any excuse to divert attention away from all the criminal shit he's been doing, whilst he's been in his position. So, a good war, why not, man? But that's, prophecy ain't really been stopping, man. You had even the money market. You had like the nonsense with GameStop starting up again, and as well cryptocurrency, which I didn't even check this morning. It was meant to have gone down, but cryptocurrency as well. The focus has gone on it. You had a lot of big companies, a lot of big investors putting money into crypto, because why? That's leading towards that mark, man. The suspension of the current paper currency and the implementation of that completely electronic system, which ties into that implanted device. But all these things are happening. But let's go. Let's see. Yeah, fucking hell, Bitcoin's back up. It's funny as hell. Okay. It's just being shit. But yeah, hey, it's evident we're in the time of the end, man. If you can't observe it, then you've been blinded and deafened to it, man. So let me read this, Matthew 24:2. Verse 3 says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately saying, so this is recording. Okay. The disciples came unto him privately saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? So as far as with Yahushai's return, that comes part and part with the end of this world, man. It's current rulership. Like from the time of way back, you go into the Old Testament, there's prophecies from way back, man, like in Second Ezra 6, where it says what Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Daniel 2 as well with the statue, and how you're going to be in the time of the 10 toes, of iron and miry place. That's that time we're in now. We're in the time of them 10 toes. So this is, these things have been spoken of for the longest, man. And the Lord's had his men out here basically pushing out that message, the same message, for over thousands of years. Because why? This is basically the culmination of the greatest judgment you're going to see on the earth, and as well, it's basically Israel being raised up, man, going from the state where we've been in, where we're basically under the chains of darkness, in the flesh, and then going into that extraterrestrial body, man. We'll be perfected, man, like Yahushua has been perfected. So that says, verse 4, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And you've basically, as far as lies going out, that's something you've had going out for the longest. And then even if you count from after, Abba Bivens basically came out with a word and then woke up, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans basically started waking up Jake from Judah on down to the truth. Even from then, guys that know the Israelites, they're still teaching lies, man. Still coming in, there's guys coming in the actual name of Christ. But when you deal with the scriptures, there's no way. Back when you go back to ancient Israel, they weren't speaking Greek, and they weren't speaking English. They were speaking Hebrew. So then, if you're gonna call on the name of Yahushua, which that's his name, Yahushua, then you need to know how that sounds in the original Hebrew. So for guys to be calling on Christ, there's no precedent there, man. It don't makes no sense. But guys, certain guys have been set up. Certain guys are just liars. Certain guys are faithless. But it's what the Lord's always got his men. The Lord always has his men set up. Basically to bring the truth out. Because that's you can read it still. Romans 9.
I look better like that.
Is that Romans 9? Okay.
That looks a bit better.
So 10 is 5 on one side and 2 on the other. Yes, if you're in 1 on the left.
It's like 3 times love, yeah. It's 2 and 1 on the left.
Come to pass.
Yeah.
Romans 11. So Romans 11 and 4. And what saith the answer of the Most High? Oh well. Okay, let's start from verse 1. Romans 11 and 1. I say then, hath the Most High cast away his people? The Most High forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. Which, if the seed's been done away with, which is what, especially when you go to these Christians, if the seed's been done away with, then why is it being stressed? Why is it significant? Why is it recorded in the New Testament? Same thing to the gates in Revelation for New Jerusalem. Why is it done by the tribes? Because not everyone comes out of that line. You trace the histories of the different nations. Every nation don't come out of Israel, man. Every nation don't even come out of Abraham. But this is where, confusion abounds, man. It says, the Most High hath not cast away his people which he foreknew. Wot ye not what the scripture saith of Elias, who he maketh Now how he maketh intercession to the Most High against Israel, saying, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and dig down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. And what saith the answer of the Most High unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. So yeah, it's back in the time of when Thingy was on the scene, when Elijah was on the scene, which is First Kings, I believe, like towards the end, and it's when Jacob gone completely off. They were worshiping worshiping idols. From the king's house on down, Israel was completely in love with those idols, man. And as far as it seemed to Elijah at the time that he was the only one, man. But then I believe after this as well is when the Lord had him meet up with Elisha as well, and then Elisha followed after him. And then Elisha even had a greater portion of the spirit than Elijah. So it's cold, man. But then that's how the Lord has it set up, man. The Lord has his men, and it's like, because even with it's like with waking up the elect, we can't tell who's of that number. We don't know. There's certain men, like there's men that seem like they're going off. It's like even our high priest Ariah at the present time. He's not out, he's not teaching. But then, when it comes down to what? The election. Because as far as for the men of the elect, the Lord's going to have them, no matter what, they're going to receive that salvation. But then that's why it's like, it's a thing where, even if you count, before the apostles jumped on YouTube, man. So before jumping on YouTube, man, I just thought like, yo, how's this word going to get out? How's the Lord going to, how many more men could there be? But then it's through the power of what that unicorn, the truth went out there, man, and the numbers gone up, and you got men all around the globe teaching that same word, man. So this is a thing where basically the Lord can do what He likes with it, man. He can basically get things set up and moving through means you wouldn't even realize, man. And that's how it's gonna come when it comes to the time of Jacob's trouble as well. And the time of Jacob's trouble, no one's really like. It's basically gonna come down to faith, man. Because it's like when you see what's gonna be going down, it's gonna require you to trust and have faith in the Lord to save you out of that, man. Because it's gonna get wild, man. It's gonna get messy. People are gonna, and that's the things just as how it's now, where you got this thing going around, and you got that jab getting pushed out. It's if you're down with it, well, the way it's looking is a squeeze. The pressure is gonna be applied, man. To where if you get down with the program, then it will seem like okay, things are gonna get easy. If you're not getting down, then you're gonna be ostracized. Everyone's gonna be coming against you, man. You're gonna need to have faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai to basically make it through those times. And that's really how the Lord deals with His men, man. Because just how then it seemed. Well, this is why it says you got to seek out your own salvation with fear and trembling, man. You got to basically build yourself up, be rooted in yourself, build that foundation within yourself to be able to endure through. Because whilst it's a thing where it's a brotherhood, we're all together, we give support to one another. It's then as well a thing where you are working on your own salvation. You're building up within yourself to be able to make it through them times. Okay, let me go back to Matthew 24. So back in Matthew 24, and I'll read verse 5 again. So it says, "For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumours of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." You hear wars and rumours of wars. It's, as far as for these, this is something that's not been when it comes to wars and rumors of wars, that's been happening for decades on end, man. Ain't really been a thing where that's stopped. That's increased. Like I said earlier, even Iran, you had what was it, Joe Biden, doing strikes on Syria, which that's what rumors of wars, man. That's essentially warfare. That's enough to start a war, man. So I said what and as far as when it comes to like America's involvement in these situations, it will seem like light-handed at first, where you'll just have they might just do airstrikes, but then through the process of time, then they do sanctions, all kinds of things. It builds up. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Yeah, so nation rising against nation. There's that conflict's been there, and really the big one's been America and Russia. Those two have been sparring for the longest, really since the end of World War II, because both of them were set up as the two kind of superpowers after, and they'll like the conflict between them basically just continued into the 90s when Russia kind of slept for a bit after the fall of the Soviet Union, but then afterwards they've basically come back, man. They've been building themselves back up. It's like even now you got Russia looking to kind of sneak out its position for basically of supplying gas to Europe, getting a gas pipeline to Europe, which then would kind of impact America's role within there. Because as far as when it comes to like gas and oil, these things are cornerstones of like America's economy, man. And that's why there's been military strikes, military interventions off these things before as well, man. Basically undermining the petrodollar. That's where America gets involved. So it says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Yeah, so basically the men standing for this truth, the men standing for this word, we're going to be targets, man. You can see that happening already on YouTube, man. The way Esau's coming, like swatting away channels left, right, and center. All right, mate. Swatting away channels left, right, and center. That already lets you know that they're trying to basically squash this word, stop this truth coming out. Because why? It's having an impact, man. And it's through the process of this entire lockdown, it's kind of become clear. Well, I say this entire going back to when it began, it's kind of become clear. This they're talking about it going back to normal after June. But it's not really going to be the normal as you knew it, man. When you go back to like what would it be? Summer 2019? Yeah, like summer 2019. It's not going to be like summer 2019, man. There's going to be, there's going to be things like, the Maxine passports. For you to travel, there's going to be increased restrictions. What the fuck is that? And even for you to get out and about, there's going to be all kinds of restrictions, man. They might have something similar to like track and trace, where you have to check in for when you're at certain places. So it's not going to be the same, and it's never really going to go back to how it was previously. That's not the objective. When you deal with the plans of these banking elites, these guys are about bringing in further control, more restrictions, and basically bringing in that new world order they've been planning for hundreds of years, man. And it says what? And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that endured to the end, the same shall be saved. Yeah, so it's about endurance. It's about making yourself hard through these times. And that's what we're being built up for, man. the Lord's basically given his men experiences through which they can grow and basically get to the point where that we're able to endure through the coming times. Because as far as it is, it's what's going on presently. This is a light touch to what's gonna be coming. Because like now you're kind of you're volunteering to stay home, but it's gonna be a thing where the enforcement is gonna get greater, and it's really only seeing presently only seeing the enforcement coming against those that are chafing against it. But that's how it's being normalized. Because it's just like, okay, well, next winter, if it became a thing where it's like, okay, yeah, everyone's got to go back in their fucking house, then and that's likely as well. Because even with this thing going around, they just say like, what is it? They're saying there's so many variants, you're gonna need booster shots constantly, like yearly. It'll be like, the flu jab, a regular occurrence that you just have to get used to. But then as well, basically you're gonna have it come from multiple angles, and even with in the UK, it's kind of different in the States. But in the UK, you've had a few things. You had like the furlough scheme. You had like a lot of assistance given to companies, but you still had like retails gone as an industry. Like that. Even with summer coming back, half of the retail stores, retail chains, they're being bought up by like online stores like ASOS and Boohoo. Bought up some retail spots. You ain't gonna have them like retail making a comeback in summer. It's all that's all done. Because even like you had previously, what was it? Oxford Street was like the busiest street in Europe, man, as far as shopping wise. But that's even if it returns to being like the busiest shopping street in Europe, it's not like it ain't gonna be the same numbers as before, man. It's gonna be toast. But that's signs of the times, man. That whole spirit before of folly, that bread and circus spirit, all of that's coming to an end, man. Everyone's looking to to jump back on going to festivals in the summer, booking summer holidays, all this. But that whole spirit is coming to an end, man. Even if you might be able to get on a plane and go somewhere, you might not be able to come back. Because like even it's like with when the original lockdown started, there was people that were fucking stranded, man, having to pay like fucking hundreds of pounds over the course of months for hotels, because they were fucked. They were fucked. It was like they were stuck overseas. What the fuck else could they do? So, all that peace and joy and fun. That shit's already gone, man. Okay, let me skip down. Well, actually, I can jump to what I was gonna grab.
We're just all horrible when we're together. Like, everyone enjoyed that.
He's on this trial drive.
We go 2nd Ezra 14. 2nd Ezra 14 and 13. It says, "Now therefore set thine house in order." God damn, that's hard. "Set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption." So yeah, reprove thy people. And set your house in order. These are things that Jake ain't doing, man. Jake ain't looking to set their house in order. Jake is basically looking to the government, whether it be in the States or over here. It's the same spirit, man. They're just looking to the government to just say, look, everything's gonna go back to normal. You're gonna be able to go out, go to a club, grind on 20 different women, and commit adultery every other night of the week. That's these are the things that Jake's looking to spend their time on, man. They're like, yo, I got like bare fresh drops that I bought off 70% off of ASOS. They're looking to get a few fly nights to put out there to get up on Instagram, man. This is what Jake's thinking about, man. But what the Lord said, set your house in order, man. It means make them preparations, because it's even with they not ordering Jake in general, man. Just from the gates on down, man. From the leaders on down, Jake ain't got no semblance of order. They don't know who the fuck they are. They don't know what time it is. They don't know what's getting ready to go down. They ain't prepared for any of the judgments that are gonna come, man. Jake's basically gonna be taken. 2/3 of Jake, 66.6%, is gonna be found, completely unawares. And it says what? Verse 14: Let go from thee mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature. Yeah, so put off that weak nature, basically that carnal mind that focused on all the things of the flesh, man. Because we're coming to a time of spiritual matters, man, where the Lord's doing judgment, man, getting ready to execute judgment against the people, man. And Israel is going to begin. It's going to begin at the house of the Lord, man. Jake's going to be the first in line to taste some judgments, man, because it's going to go to the heathen after as well. But Jake are the one that aren't prepared, man. This is the time, when the time of judgment, you're seeing judgment popping off, man. You had what's his name, Mr. Woods, man, Tiger Woods. This guy, I'm surprised I think he was still winning some shit in golf. He still had a career, he had a future ahead of him. He got in a car crash. He's looking toast, man. That's all gonna be done. Well, it may not be, it may be, but regardless, he got fucked up, man. He's gonna be out of commission for a while, and this place ain't gonna be around too long for this guy to come back and win the PGA Tour, man. It's all looking like it's coming to an end, man. So that time of judgment, it's all the focus on the carnal things, thinking, okay, I was gonna hit this, I was gonna start this business, I was gonna do this, I was gonna get to go to this 3 different locations in the world. All these things, that time's done, man. And that's what you had for a lot of Jake, man. During lockdown, they've just been thinking about, okay, what's all the fun that I'm gonna have as soon as I'm free to. Verse 15, it says, and set aside thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. Yeah. So haste to flee from these times. Why? Because the times we're going into, like I said, right now, it's a light touch, man. It's like when you have the snow. When it first kicks off, man, it's just that light snow. It's falling delicately. It melts on your tongue as it's falling down. You're like, wow. It's light, man. But then once a snowstorm starts, once a blizzard starts, then it's cold, man. It's peak. It's peak to be outside, man. It's not easy. But that's how people are gonna be caught out there, man. Because even like with what the hell is it called? With Texas, man. Who the fuck in Texas was thinking a snowstorm was gonna come, man? That shit shut down the whole fucking the whole state was done, man. They had no electricity, no running water, no food, no nothing, man. That was hell on earth for a few days for some people, man. Like I said, it's a light dusting, man. All these things are gonna be worse in magnitude. It says verse 16, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen shall happen, shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. Yeah, so even the fucked up shit, like for example, Jerusalem getting put on smash by the Romans. That was terrible, man. You go through the accounts. These men were, chopping up kids to eat them. Man was starving. Man were going through all kinds of hell. They were getting run through, man. Jerusalem was toast after that, man. They took all the goodies, man. Even what do you call it as well, man? When the Babylonians ran through. These times, hey, it was hell on earth, man. He did all the prophecies and says, hey, it's gonna be fucked. It says, actually, I think it's in this scripture where it says,
I'm just trying to explain to you how hard we work. And I'm saying I'm giving you the opportunity to decide
hang on, okay.
how we want to split that 150 so that we get more than they.
No, it's not even in this one. But it says what the men shall be as women with travail, man. So it's during these times of judgment. It's going to be like what the the men that are meant to be the pillars, they're basically meant to be firm and solid. Well, at least once upon a time they were meant to be. They were meant to stand firm in those times of trouble. Even for them, they're going to be as women, man. They're going to be getting hella moist, man. It's going to be a bit on top, man. It's going to be a bit too much. And these are the times that it's coming to. But that's why it's for the general man that you just see, strolling around right now enjoying himself. They're going to be caught slipping. But for the men of the Lord is going to be building them up, developing them, in preparation. Because as far as, for us, for the men of the Lord, we ain't going to be taken unawares. We're basically going to be looking to and hasten in these times to come. Why? Because we know within these times, when they culminate and when they end, that's going to be our reward, man. We're going to get perfected. Says, for time, verse 18, for time is fled far away and leasing is hard at hand. For now hasteth the vision to come which thou hast seen. Yeah, the vision hasteth to come. All these prophecies, you go through them. These prophecies were a lot of them were thousands of years ago, man. And now is the time when we're seeing all of them come to pass. So that's like, boy, even from back then they were hasting from thousands of years back for these things to come. Because why? It's like even Ezra, the thing that he was tussling with was he was just like, yo, but how is Israel? He was like, yo, but Israel, us as Israel, we are chosen. We're basically been set up, to be kings on the earth. How is it you're gonna have us in this destroyed state, man? You're gonna have the heathen overthrow us. You're gonna have us be messed up. It's just like, yo, how can this be? And it was just kind of going back and forth and having it broken down to him. But it's like, what? That's, hey, now, vision is, but now is the time when it's manifest, man. What Jake went through, the absolute complete destruction of us as a people. That's why we're in the state we're in, man. But even that time's done, man. The Lord had mercy.